Hey,
Kamusta?
what's up mga kagham?
Excited na ba kayo sa 2021 NSTW?
Markahan nyo na ang inyong mga kalendaryo ngayong November 22 to 28, 2021.
Magkita-kits tayo sa 2021 NSTW.
Handog ng DUST. 2021 NSTW and Science for the People.
Regional Science and Technology Week. RSTW is a regional celebration of the National Science and Technology Week. It is conducted and spearheaded by the Department of Science and Technology regional offices across the country. It also serves as a run-up to the national celebration. This year's celebration carries the theme Agham at Teknolohiya, tugon sa hamon ng panahon. The NSTW highlights the significant contributions of science and technology to the national development and has become a platform for heralding S&T advocacy in the country. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this will be the second year in a row wherein most of the festivities will be held online. So you will continue to enjoy the many offerings of RSTW and NSTW right at the comfort of your home. So what's in store for the 2021 RSTW Davao? DOST Region 11 brings you the 2021 RSTW Davao official lineup of activities. November 3 online launching 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Science of Chocolate 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 4 Conservation Education Initiatives for the Philippine Eagle amid the pandemic 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Additive Manufacturing on Medical Applications 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 5 Science and Tech amid the pandemic 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Awarding of Best Setup and SES Implementers 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. November 8 to 9 GAD Awareness and the Use of Gender Fair Language Webinar. November 10 Youth Excellence in Science Awards 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. November 12 In Focus Davos Research Agenda 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 16 to 18 2021 Rise Davao Final Round. November 19 Digital Tayo Digital Empowerment 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 22 Science from the Eagle's Nest Episode 1 Halal S&T Program 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 24 Episode 2 Grind Program 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 25 Episode 3 Renewable Energy Resource Potential in the Philippines 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 26 Digital Tayo Digital Engagement 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. These are open and free to all. Join and have a chance to win prizes. National Science and Technology Week Agham at Teknolohiya tugon sa hamon ng panahon.
What makes the OST 11 different from other regions or other regional offices of the OST is that we consciously and actively engage the pentahelix sectors of society. When we develop programs and projects, we make sure that even at the conceptualization stage of these programs and projects, all these sectors are engaged. We get their views, and we make sure that everyone has a voice in the development of the programs and projects that we want to implement in the communities. And that is part of inclusive development, making sure that all the sectors of society are not just beneficiaries, but active players and partners in the development process.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Bayang makinig, sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa likid mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, nguyat ka ng magiting, sa manlulukoy, di ka pasisingin, sa dagat at puno, sa simoy, sa langit pumunta, ay nilalang tula at kawin sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisat ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagtitigil. Ang bituin at alam niya kanyang may magdidilig. Lupa ng araw na anuman aking pagsikta ay langit sa piling mo. Ang bibigaya ng may mag-aakit, ang mga tayo dahil sa'yo.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of our Lord. Our loving Father, the ultimate goal of every knowledge seekers, the infinite wisdom, the cause of all that is good. We praise and thank you for this opportunity for us to gather as a community. Despite the challenges we face each day, you remained and gave us strength to carry on the responsibilities, bearing intelligence, and using this for better purposes. We humbly ask you to join us in our endeavor to explore the wonders of life and the world, that in whatever we learn today, we become more grounded to you. We pray that you bless our speakers, the fount of your infinite knowledge, that they can share something worthwhile despite the limited time we have. We pray that you guide our participants, the seekers of your boundless knowledge. We ask you to open their eyes to see the wonderful things from this activity. Open their ears so that they may retain the invaluable knowledge, and that they may continue to persevere in the search and be deemed worthy to share what they learned from today's session. Sanctify us, O Lord, not because we are worthy of it, but because we believe in your love and mercy. At the end of today, we can take home something that's amazing and meaningful. This we ask and pray through Christ our Lord. Amen.
All right. So good afternoon, everyone. Maayong hapon. We are very much grateful to your support to the Davao Region RSTW celebration. Mind you, more than 1,000 individuals pre-registered in this webinar, The Science of Chocolates. So, it only goes to show no na unsa atong suporta basta lamian nga pagkaon na gyud ang atong hisgutan. So, shout out to our participants who are admitted in our current Zoom account, and also our Facebook viewers. So far reaching kaayo ang ato ang mga participants. No, we have so many participants coming from Mindanao, as far as Misamis Oriental, and also some parts of the country. Even we've reached, or we have participants from Laguna. Hello, ma'am and sir. And even from Pasay, from Taytay, and also from even a participant coming all the way from the United States. So, welcome. And I know everyone's excited to keep the ball rolling. So, I give you the DOST 11's energetic regional director, Dr. Anthony C. Sales, CESO 3, for his opening remarks.
Madayao, thank you for joining us today in this virtual activity. This year's online Regional Science and Technology Week Davao will showcase technologies, innovations, and updates on DOST programs and projects and collaborative partnerships that talk about relevant issues and practical solutions that will benefit every Filipino. With the theme Agham at Teknolohiya, Tugon sa Hamon ng Panahon, we will highlight the significant contributions of S&T to national development, including efforts and initiatives of the entire scientific community in the areas of health, education, food safety, food security, digital empowerment, renewable energy, as well as the department's involvement in nurturing grassroots innovations and increasing the research and development capacity of the Davao region. We would also like to invite everyone to witness as DOST highlights the accomplishments of our flagship programs, including Setup, CEST, and the Halal program. We enjoy your support on our advocacies to promote the role of SETI in the translation of valuable information into usable forms, in providing solutions to existing and emerging issues, and in addressing development gaps to propel our nation towards sustainable and inclusive growth. Indeed, we want everyone, not only Region 11, but the whole country, to celebrate science and be informed of the remarkable SETI solutions that Davao and Mindanao has to offer. I hope you will all have a productive discussion. Thank you very much, Madayao, and I wish you a science-filled week. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ni. So now, without further ado, let me introduce our guest speaker, who is a native of the Davao region as she hails from Digos City. She finished Bachelor of Science in Biology with Latin honors from the University of San Jose Recoletos in Cebu City and acquired her master's degree in Technology Management as a DOST graduate scholar from the Asian Institute of Technology in Thailand. She has trained extensively in food safety and in chocolate and cacao processing. She is an expert on topics such as good manufacturing practices, HACCP, and ISO 22000, or the food safety management systems. To hone her skills and expertise, our speaker attended the Chocolate Academy Singapore and took up Chocolate Masters Program, which focused on chocolate processing, application, and artistry. She was also granted a full scholarship training course on cacao and chocolate processing from the University of Fent, Cocoa Lab in Fent, Belgium in 2017. And in 2019, she also became a certified chocolate taste tester through the International Institute of Chocolate and Cacao Tasting London School from the United Kingdom. She is also the owner of a food manufacturing firm called Vina Food Products and a chocolatier at 55 Beans Chocolatier and the confectionery hub of Arcor Group of Hotels. It is with great pride that we introduce you the DOST's chocolate expert, the Provincial Science and Technology Director of Bohol, Ms. Vina Antopina. A round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, DOST Region 11, Davao Region, for giving me this opportunity to be with you on this occasion. I am going to talk to you this afternoon about the science of chocolates. So I find it very timely because Davao is known as the Philippines chocolate capital. And I know there are a lot of seasoned and newbie chocolate makers and chocolatiers in town. And each of you, I'm sure, offers chocolates to your clients in various shapes, texture, and even colors. No? So, but how many of you, as you do the process, of, or for your clients as they savor their favorite brand, consider the science that is happening during its manufacture. So an hour of discussion with you this afternoon will cover the ingredients and processing techniques in every step, enabling you to discover how the chocolates were made and how basic science plays a vital role in making something as simple as chocolate. Now, we will cover physical and chemical properties and scientific principles, such as the common terms that you often hear, the Maillard reactions, the enzymatic processes, relative humidity, and a lot more. There is also a discussion on the monitoring and control of the production process and the importance and variety of the packaging used today. So I promise to share with you the painless way of learning about them. Now, we are going to start with the different production steps in preparing the fermented dried cacao beans. Now, this is in preparation sa paggawa ng bean-to-bar chocolates and tablea, or what we call as yung mga bagong style na yun na paggawa ng tablea, the refined tablea. Now, in this different process like farming, harvesting, fermentation, drying, packaging, and the storage, ang pinaka-importante dito that we need to understand is the process of fermentation, because all the inherent properties, the flavor, that the variety of the cacao bean na gusto mong i-highlight doon sa finished product is dito natin siya ipe-prepare. Okay? Ito yung stage na pag ito ay in-skip mo, ay hindi natin makuha yung mga flavors na gusto natin ipalabas coming from the certain variety na gusto natin na ma-highlight doon sa ating finished product. And of course, may mga importante din tayong details in drying and storage of your fermented dried beans. Now, ano ba ang nangyayari, or the fermentation process, ano ba ang meron? No? So, it is the key stage in the processing of cocoa beans. No? It will determine the depth of the beans, and it favors the removal of the pulp and the subsequent drying. Now, the formation of flavor precursors. No? Ano ba itong flavor precursors? Ito yung pag-prepare mo doon sa mga substances na gusto mong ipalabas. In this case, when we are going to prepare the chocolates, ilabas natin itong mga flavors, i-prepare natin during fermentation, drying, ilabas natin ito doon during the roasting stage, pag nag-produce na tayo ng product. Para yung mga formation ng mga flavor precursors, yung pag-reduce ng bitterness and astringency, yung mga mapakla, as well as the development of color are initiated during this stage. Okay? Now, ano bang meron doon sa isang pod, no? A fresh pod. So let's go back, no? Let's review our Biology Botany 101. Anong meron? Anong biochemical profile meron ang isang cacao pod? So we have fat, 50% or more. It depends on the variety. Ito yung tinatawag natin na mantika di cacao. And then there are proteins, there's starch, sucrose, phenolic substances, and alkaloids. No? We are going to open the pod. No? Alam natin itong lahat. Common ito sa atin with a bolo or a wooden club. And then lalabas yung makikita natin itong fruit pulp. The white is the mucilage, no? The white pulp. Now, we are going to separate the pulp from the pod by hand. And then if we are going to cut the fresh seeds, cross-section, evidence sa ating makikita yung embryo, at tapos may seed shell. If we are going to cut it, longitudinal section is makita natin itong radical, dito lalabas yung seedling, if gagawin natin seedling, at may hypocotyl at saka may cotyledon. Okay? Dito sa cotyledon, dito na-form yung food, no? Nandito makikita yung cocoa butter, no? Which accounts over half of the dry weight of the beans, no? And in this stage, the moisture content of the bean is about 65%. Now, Anong meron na ingredients doon sa fresh seeds inside the cotyledon? Now, inside the cotyledon, makita natin yung fat, proteins, phenolics, alkaloids, carbohydrates, and organic acids. Maraming laman, kumbaga. So, ano itong mga phenolic compounds? Itong mga phenolic compounds, they act as antioxidants. No? Ano yung antioxidants? Maganda yun sa katawan. No? Meron tayong mga plant polyphenols na they have increasing attention these days because of their potent antioxidant properties. Isa itong makakatulong kasi meron silang mga marked effects in the prevention of various oxidative stress associated diseases. Isa na dun yung cancer, no? And then we have the flavonoids dito present, mga klase ng mga alkaloids. Ito yung may mga anti-inflammatory properties, no? Now, ano itong mga organic acids na meron dito? These are the acetic, the citric, lactic, marami to sila. Meron pang succinic, micropionic. Anong meron dito? Okay, they played an important role in the flavor formation of the chocolate. Okay? Marami tayong nakikitang mga flavor na ini-expect doon sa ginagawang flavor wheel pag nagsisensory na tayo doon sa ating finished product. Okay. Now, anong impact nito doon sa flavor? Etong sila, etong mga properties inside the cotyledon. Okay. Etong si flavandriols at si alkaloids, sila yung reason bakit bitter. Okay. So, generally kasi itong alkaloids, bitter talaga yung taste niya. Ano yung mga common na alkaloids? Isa na dito yung theobromine. No? Very, very effective ito sa pag-reduce ng inflammation sa ating body. Kasi alam nyo, marami talagang nutrient, no, minerals, and makukuha nating mga high nutritional value dito inside the cacao bean. No? That is why this is a very healthy food. No? Now, ano itong meron sa theobromine aside from reducing inflammation? It gives us a positive effect on both our mood and state of alertness. Isa ito sa nagpaparelease ng hormones na yung happy hormone, no? That's why kanang effective nitong pagkain ng chocolate kung gusto mong sumaya. No, kung gusto mong yung feeling in love, okay? So cacao has half the theobromine of the coffee. There is also theobromine we can get from drinking green tea, no? Now, itong flavandriols ay antioxidant siya. Mayroon siyang anti-inflammatory properties at yung tinatawag na anti-thrombotic effects. Okay? Now, aside from the bitter na taste na inilalabas niya dun sa cacao, pag-usapan na lang yung mga nutritional value. Okay? So, aside from being yung makukuha natin yung bitter taste, meron din tayong ma-feel na astringent, no? Yung astringency level, mapakla, okay? Now, bakit may mapakla? Kasi it is caused by this also. Flavonols, aside from bitterness, meron ding astringency na lalabas if maraming flavandriols na na-form, no? During fermentation. At itong mga cinnamic acid amides, okay? Ano ito sila? Antioxidant din to, no? And the flavonols, again, it improves level of nitric acid in our blood that relaxes. So, meron siyang mga vasodilation effect, no? So, contrary to what we believe in na yung mga cacao beans ay nakaka-cause ng hypertension, hindi po, no? Okay, pag-usapan natin yan mamaya, ano bang makakos ng hypertension doon sa beans pag may oras pa. Okay? Now, eto, may sourness tayong nakukuha dito. It is because of the presence of the acids. Marami sila, as I've said kanina, acetic, citric, lactic, malic. Ano ito? They played an important role in creating the chocolate flavor. Kaya yung flavor na nakukuha natin sa tsokolate ay mix, no? May bitterness, may astringency, may sourness. Kaya nga, dapat may control tayo dito during fermentation state para walang mag-overpower ng mga flavors na lalabas after natin sila ma-process. Now, anong meron dito sa ingredients ng fruit pulp? Yung sa labas, okay? Sa fruit pulp, we have sugar, we have organic acids, we have monoterpenes, secondary alcohols, and esters. Now, ano ito? Now, etong mga sugar, of course, we have sucrose, fructose, and glucose. Ito yung nagdala ng sweetness, no? And then, of course, sour, itong mga acid na mention na po natin kanina. Kung meron dun sa cotyledon, meron din dito sa fruit pulp. Now, etong floral at saka fruity flavors na lalabas doon sa ating finished product ay dala ito ng monoterpenes at saka yung mga secondary alcohols and esters. Anong monoterpenes ang visible sa cacao? Ito yung linalool, no? Isa siya sa major terpene component ng cocoa na nag-contribute markedly to the flowery and the tea-like flavor of some cocoa varieties. There are some cocoa varieties na evident talaga ito sila. For example, yung Criollo. Kasi yung Criollo, mababa yung kanyang bitterness, mas nag-i-exceed yung kanyang mga floral, fruity, and sour flavor. So it's a mix, no? Parang may merry-go-round doon sa mouth mo, sa pag-taste mo, doon sa product, no? And then there are also a lot of Trinitarios that shows mga magaganda yung kanyang flavor notes na nire-release, no? It is because of these components sa fruit pulp. Now, so anong nangyayaring changes during fermentation? So the sugars in here at the fruit pulp, the sucrose, the glucose, and the fructose, from the acidic pulp, no, will undergo an alcoholic fermentation, catalyzed by the yeast, no, presence. Thus, nagde-generate ito siya ng ethanol. Now, after 48 hours, the yeast activity is inhibited by aeration, alcohol concentration, at nag-i-increase ang kanyang pH level. Pag nag-increase ang pH level, it is the result now of the citric acid nagdi-deplete, no? Which is used up by yeast metabolism. Now, nag-trigger na ito ng growth ng lactic acid bacteria. Okay? Now, ang pag-ferment ng pulp sugar, it creates lactic acid, as I've said. Aside from that, mayroong acetic acid at ethanol and carbon dioxide. Now, towards the end of the second phase ng pag-ferment, yung lactic acid bacteria ay na-replace by acetic acid bacteria that are responsible sa pag-oxidize ng ethanol to acetic acid. Now, all these processes na nangyayari in this phase ay exothermic, no? Meaning, they heat up the cocoa mass. Yung pag-ferment mo, dito mo ma-feel na umiinit yung iyong fermentation na 45 degrees to 52 degrees or 50. Ito yung pinaka-essential sa pag-create ng mga different flavors, no? Again, yung exothermic, meaning yung reaction ng pag-ferment na meron kang ma-feel na nagre-release na heat, okay? Now, the acetic acid bacteria here plays a key role in the formation of the flavor precursors. Now the ethanol activates other bacteria, example yung mga ethanoic and the lactic acid bacteria, na nag-convert ito into respective acids. Now, the ethanol and acids are able to pass through the shell into the bean. May migration na nangyayari. Now, this change in acidity or the pH, no, doon inside the cotyledon, that will cause the death of the bean. Ito na yung pag-kill ng embryo para hindi na siya magiging seedling. Okay? Hindi na tutubo. Now, following the death of the bean, the enzymes, no, it's a type of catalyst na capable dun sa pag-increase ng rate ng breakdown ng substances dito sa loob ng cotyledon like the fat into simpler components. But hindi siya yung reaction niya, hindi siya unchanged, kundi mag-release, no? So this caused the rapid decomposition of the bean's food reserves, unformed sugars and acid, no? Dito na sa loob, may nangyayari na yung pagpasok, pag-migrate nitong changes na nangyari dito sa fermentation ng fruit pulp, no? Again, this will lead into the development of the chocolate flavor. Now, yung ibang yeast ay mayroong mga nag-i-initiate ng pectin degradation of the pulp solubles that favor the aeration. So ano ito? Yung microbial activity na nag-determine doon sa structural changes na nag-contribute sa removal, sa compartmentalization of the enzymes and substrates, yung hindi pa ito nagalaw, nagpa-facilitate na ito ngayon ng movement of cell constituents. So parang naghalo-halo na. Before fermentation, parang nakapader sila. May mga compartments dito kung saan si enzymes, si substrates. Now, due to the initial, yung migration effect noong ating sa nangyaring chemical processes sa pulp pagpasok dito, ay meron nang na-facilitate na movement doon sa loob ng cell. Okay? Now, if we are going to check on the micropyle of a fresh seed, ano ba itong micropyle? It is the minute opening of an ovule of a seed plant, in this case, the cacao bean. Parang meron siyang nangyayaring opening of the pores kasi nga may nag-migration na nangyayari. So ito yung unfermented pa. Ito yung naka-compartmentalize, yung parang nakagrupo-grupo sila. So, hindi sila na-mix up together para mag-form at mag-develop ng mga flavors and aroma and everything, no? But if we are going to check on the micropyle of a fermented seeds, ito na yung nakikita nating mga reactions, no? Ano ang kagandahan ng science? Meron tayong maipakitang example na there is really movement due to the different chemical processes happening in the stage of fermentation, no? So, hindi ito yung mga tag-an lang, okay? Now, in general, ano bang mga different flavors na nangyayari dito? At ano ba yung nire-release nila ng mga properties during fermentation? So, eto na. Yung mga sa cotyledon, eto yung mga cocoa polyphenols, no? Sa pag-release ng mga phenolics, yung release but yung mga na-develop na mga phenolics, no? So, ito tong major oxidative enzyme sa cocoa na nag-oxidize ng cocoa polyphenols, no? Which results to browning, okay? Now, ito namang mga proteins, no? Ay nagre-release siya ng mga vicillin and albumin classes na nag-break up during fermentation. May mga different acids siyang na-form, no? Including yung mga valine, glycine, mga ganyan, which are very important in the chocolate flavor formation. Etong mga ito, tsaka ito yung mga flavor, ang mga pinapalabas nila ng mga properties. So the polyphenolic compounds, no, they play a protective role and have an important function, again, in the development sa chocolate flavor. Now, if we are going to look at a summary of the flavors na nirelease ng mga results ng mga chemical reactions during fermentation, itong si monoterpenes at esters, no? Pag nag-mix na sila lahat dyan, natapos na yung fermentation, ito na yung lalabas na flavor. Siya yung reason ng floral at saka fruity na flavor. Etong si mga acid ay sa sourness. Si phenolic, ito yung astringency and bitterness. So yung alkaloids, ito yung bitter, no, na flavor na lalabas. Si peptides, flavor precursor siya. Si amadori compounds ay siya yung nagbibigay ng aroma, yung amoy tsokolate, yung nagbabatirol ka ng sikwate, yung amoy na yun ang nire-release ng mga amadori compounds, no? Now, if we are going to look at the biochemical quality parameters, no? Ito yung mga chine-check mo na parameters. Kung nandyan yan, present sila and in higher concentration, meaning, ito yung mga results ng mga taste na lalabas na evident, no? On a fine flavor cocoa bean. Now, ano ba itong categories ng ating cocoa bean? Meron tayong tinatawag na fine flavor cocoa bean at saka yung bulk, no? Usually yung bulk ay yung mga nasa forastero, no, na mga variety. Yung ating fine flavor beans, mostly Trinitario and Criollo. Ito yung marami dyan sa inyo sa Davao na mga mas plantation ninyo, yung mga malalaking hectares na tinataniman, no, doon sa inyong mga cacao plantation, no. So etong sa fine flavor, ito yung mga ginagawa nating cocoa cacao bean na ginagawa nating bean to bar, okay? Meron talaga silang mga inherent na flavor. Now, ito yung dinadaan natin sa sakto na pag-ferment para makuha natin yung ma-maximize natin yung mga flavor na gustong ipalabas ng certain varieties ng cacao. Yun namang sa bulk ay binibenta natin ng industrial size, yung mga tonelada, pinapalabas natin sa baksa, dictated yung presyo ng bulk beans sa international market. Mostly, ang ginagawa sa bulk beans ay kino-convert natin ito, pinaprocess natin ito into cocoa powder. So, ina-out natin yung cocoa butter fat. So, may marami tayong mga chocolate applications na nagagawa out of that. Meron ding mga magagaling na mga industrial size na mga chocolate factories na biniblend nila yung mga bulk beans into different products na maramihan. Okay? Industrial size na setting. No? But for the artisanal bean to bar maker, mostly ang ating mga ginagamit na bean are the fine flavor ones. Okay? Hindi ho ibig sabihin na fine flavor ay pino, kundi ito ay klase ng bean, mga varieties na meron po silang mga inherent quality na maganda, masarap na ang amoy, merong mga masasarap na taste na lalabas doon sa gagawin nating produkto out of those varieties. Okay? Now, if we are going to check the external appearance of the cocoa beans before, during, and after fermentation, alam natin ito. Fresh beans, white. After the first few days of fermentation, it turns into violet, and then on the last days, it will turn into brown. No? But make sure na huwag ninyong i-over-ferment. Kasi pag i-over-ferment, if the fermentation continues for too long, there will be bacterial growth. No? Unwanted modes yung nandun, and it can cause the generation of mga off flavors. No? Meron talagang lalabas na flavors na wala doon sa flavor wheel at ayaw nating ma-detect doon sa ating finished product. Now, if we are going to check on the bean cut, through bean cut test, malalaman natin kung unfermented yun, under-fermented, or well-fermented through the colors. Okay? Now, ang maisuggest natin during fermentation, mag-bean cut test. Kung walang guillotine bean cutter, pwede naman nating gamitin lang yung ating mga blades, no? Para ma-check natin ano nangyayari doon sa loob. Kasi may mga aside from the colors inside, may mga fissures, no? May mga bitak-bitak na na-form. So doon natin makikita if the bean is already well fermented or hindi. Now, if we are going to check on the movement inside the cotyledon or the bean, through an X-ray CT scan, this is how it looks like, no? So, ito yung cross-section ng bean at ito yung longitudinal section ng bean. So, makikita mo talaga dito yung mga fissures, as I've said kanina, yung bitak-bitak na maklaro mo na meron ng mga movement or may mga chemical reactions nang nangyayari dito sa loob. Okay? And if we are going to check on the unfermented versus fermented dried cacao beans via cryoscanning electron microscopy, it allows us na makikita yung parang near atomic resolution kung anong nangyari doon. So for unfermented beans, nakikita mo yung presence ng lipid protein cells, yung polyphenolic cells, nandyan siya, no? And then yung starch granule, nandyan sila. Pero watak-watak, no? But if we are going to ferment it, this is how it looks like. Ito yung mga fissures at nakikita natin visible yung cacao butter fat na nakagrupo-grupo na sila. And then, may mga borders dito na mga fiber, no? Kasi taas yung fiber count ng cacao, no? So, ayan. So, makita mo talaga ang difference, okay? Now, ano bang meron dito sa fermentation kung i-skip natin? Kung i-skip natin, hindi ma-form yung mga certain chemicals na nakakapagbigay ng result doon sa flavor, sa aroma, and everything that I mentioned kanina. So, yung taste lang ni cacao is totally different, no? Kung gagawa ka ng tableya na unfermented, yun naman ang sanay natin, kung hindi pa natin alam yung fermentation process, is bitter lang. So, anong ginagawa? Pinapatay natin yung bitterness through sugar. Hindi natin namamalayan, ang dami ng sugar na a-add natin. So, yun, it will turn out hindi na siya healthy, no? And wala naman talagang maraming mga, nutritional value na na-form doon sa cacao pag hindi rin natin na-ferment. Kasi hindi natin ma-maximize na maipalabas yung kanyang nutritional content, no? So, Yan, dapat talaga na i-pass through natin ng fermentation. Yan ang i-educate natin sa ating mga farmers, no? Slowly na tawag na to, encourage sila na mag-ferment, ipasabot na to sa ilaha. Okay? Always remember, no fermentation, there is no chocolate flavor. Okay? Now, after fermentation, we proceed on the drying. Anong meron dito sa drying? Yung moisture content natin kanina, i-drop natin to 7.5%. No? Para ma-secure natin ang storage ng cocoa, pwede natin siyang ma-store, no, for years. If mailagay natin siya in a good storage condition, sakto ang kanyang appropriate, ang kanyang packaging material, maganda o sakto yung kanyang environment kung saan natin siya i-store, no? Bantayan natin pag ang moisture is above 8%. That is why we need appropriate packaging material for this para hindi siya mag-create ng mataas na moisture. Ay dangerous ito para mag-form ng mold, no? Pag below naman 5%, yung ating moisture ay brittle naman ang kalalabasan ng ating beans. Yung drying naman allows some of the chemical changes na nangyari doon sa fermentation na mag-continue. So yung oxidation process doon sa fermentation, it will not end up in the fermentation stage only, but it will continue during the drying. So, if we are going to dry, hindi natin i-dry lang under the heat of the sun. No, lalo na pag very, 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 very hot ang condition. No, yung klima is very mainit. So, ang atin lang is huwag natin iwan doon ang ating beans na para lang nag-dry ng clothes. Hindi. Kundi, ang sistema is ilabas natin para mag-dry siya early in the morning. Tapos, i-keep natin siya on the highest point na tataas yung temperature. With constant, tawag nito, mag-rake tayo, mag-move tayo doon para yung aeration niya is maganda. Ang sa atin lang is hindi yung tawag sa Bisaya na makulog, no? I-release natin yung mga hindi maganda na mga properties like yung bitterness, yung tannins, yung acidity, konti-konti doon sa pores. Kasi pag i-subject mo directly sa heat, automatic na mag-shock yung beans. So, ang tendency pag nag-shock ang beans, mag-close ang pores. So, naiipon lahat doong acid and whatever na mga hindi magandang mga properties na gusto nating matikman at ma-feel doon sa cacao bean pag atin nag-process, ay hindi yun mailabas. Okay? So, minsan may yung iba ayaw mag-ferment kasi, ma'am, maasim yung aming beans. Kasi maasim ang beans kasi nakulob, no? Na-lock doon inside kasi nga sinubject to too much heat na hindi man lang, minsan maraming clump beans kasi hindi nagalaw. Yung mga ganun na mga example, no? So, other than that, anong mangyayari doon during drying is it reduce the bitterness, no? Pag maganda yung release ng iyong yung mga hindi kaaya-ayang properties doon sa loob ng cotyledon during the drying period is ma-reduce yung bitterness at astringency, mawala yung pakla, hindi masyadong mapait, and yung nagde-develop na yung brown color, no? Yun na yung parang ina-attain natin na color ng dried beans, no? Kasi pag i-subject mo lang sa heat direct na wala kang control kung kailan mo i-keep at kailan mo iiwan, ay aside from kulob, parang masunog, no, yung iyong beans. Okay? Now, mag-brain cut test din kayo. Makikita mo yung movement din doon sa nangyari doon sa fermentation at saka yung change ng color. So, ang ending, brown, no? And when you are going to keep it, you store it. Suggested na storage or packaging material is the jute sack. Why jute sack? Because if you are going to store the beans while you store it, possibly yan na mag-pick up siya ng water and it will become moldy. Now, once the moisture level, again, it rises above 8%, ayun, wala ka nang, mahirap nang i-control yan. Now, traditionally, yung jute sack ay makapag-hold ng 50, 60, 65 kilogram. And it is strong, no? Stackable siya. It allows moisture to pass through. So, hindi siya magtaas yung kanyang moisture compared to the plastic. Gradable. So, Since chocolate is a very delicate flavor, no? You see, yung cacao beans ay sumisip-sip ng amoy doon sa mga neighboring, no? Mga ano ba, like may chemicals, may mga strong odors doon sa storage area. So we have to see to it na wala yun. Isang example na common na ma-miss natin is yung employee na nagsisigarilyo doon sa storage area ng cacao beans. It's a no-no. And yung during process, mataas yung, hindi mataas, but very strong yung odor na ginagamit ng mga employees doon sa kanilang lotion, shampoo, nagpe-perfume. So, no. Kasi dumidikit yung amoy doon sa cacao beans. At yun ang ating pinaprocess at kahit na yung tsokolate mismo ay dumidikit din yung mga aroma doon sa environment. So, during storage and transport of dry beans, we see to it na pag ito ay nilagay sa tarima, hindi natin ito ididikit doon sa wall ng shipping container. Kasi yung wall ng shipping container ay madaling mag-adjust yung kanyang temperature because sa environment, nasa dagat, mag-cross, no? So, pag nadikit, no, yung isa pa na yung humidity inside the boat is high. So, when the sacks are loaded on the drop in temperature, it causes a rapid rise sa relative humidity. Now, yung moisture naman will condense on the ship structure. Yan yung example kaninang nasabi ko. And sometimes it get into the sacks, making the beans moldy. So, careful talaga pag nagtatransport ng beans via, anong tawag nito, shipping containers. Okay? Now, for the sensory evaluation, ito yung mga off flavor. So, I'll just let you screenshot this one. Madali naman itong ma-follow. Ito yung mga hindi magandang flavor na kalalabasan, no? Moldy, smoky, excessive acid taste, no? Yung mga excessive bitterness and astringency. So, ayan. Now, let's proceed to the different production steps when we are going to prepare these fermented dried cocoa beans into tablea and bean to bar products. So, I have here several steps, but roasting and tempering is one of the crucial steps na dapat nating pag-aralan kasi marami ding mga scientific explanations, no, na pwede nating ma-discuss dito at intindihin during these two stages, no? And also grinding, refining, molding, and packing of the finished product. Okay. The roasting process. We have different types of roasting process, no? Yung sanay na tayo dito sa open pan, yung may kawa. And then we can bake it, and then we can roast it through a parang rotisserie, yung mga automatic roasting, electric roasting machine, o gas-fired roasting machine, no? Anong meron dito? So, it has the inherent flavors in cacao, okay? Etong stage na to. And it eliminates the bacteria. Always remember that this is the only kill step, no? Roasting, na ma-eliminate natin ang bacteria. And through roasting, we reduce the astringency, the bitterness, and reduce the moisture, and it will loosen the shell para madali nating, sa Bisaya pa, mapakpak ang iyahang husk, no? Now, what's important here is if you are going to produce bean to bar, no? Una, you have to invest on a good roasting machine, no? Kasi ang tendency, if we just rely on open pan, hindi natin nakakontrol yung kanyang apoy, no? Yung lahat kasi ng mga tinatawag natin kaninang precursors doon sa different flavors na i-prepare natin during fermentation and then it continues on drying. Pag na mali tayo dito sa roasting at na over-roast natin yung ating pag-prepare doon sa beans, ang lalabas na flavor lang is burnt flavor na wala yung lahat na ating pinaghirapan during the fermentation and the drying stage. Okay? So, always remember, unahin nating i-invest, no? Merong mura, merong mahal. So, pwede naman tayong mag-start sa mura as long as we can control the apoy, no? While roasting. Now, I have here several slides that explains ano yung importance ng roasting. Okay? So, ayan. Na-mention ko na ito kanina. So, I will leave these slides to you para ma-review ninyo kung anong meron doon. But always remember na yung roasting ay isa sa may significant effects doon sa final quality ng products. Okay? Now, I have here suggested roasting time. No, it depends on the types of beans. No, so for Trinitario, suggested lang ito. It depends also on your roasting machine na ginagamit. So there's 120 degrees for 25 minutes. Forastero, 130 degrees for 25 minutes. Criollo, 112 degrees. Why? Mababa, it's because smaller ang beans ng Criollo compared to Trinitario and Forastero. Now, next step is we need to separate the nibs from the husk. So we are going to undergo the cracking and the winnowing stage. No? So, if we are going to do it mano-mano, marami pong wastage, no? Na naisama doon when we are going to do the yung using the mag-ayag, no? Magnigo, no? So if pwede maka-invest tayo ng cracking and winnowing machine para ma-shorten natin yung process kasi usually ito yung bottleneck when we are going to produce different cacao-based products. No? Ano mangyari dito? We are going to clean, to break, and to winnow. So, simple lang. We need to clean. No? I-distill natin para uniform yung nibs kasi pwede naman tayo magbenta ng roasted nibs. No? Para mataas yung quality. Now, isi-sieve natin to remove the foreign matter, yung breaking ng beans, para mag-loosen ng shell. Nalulusen yung shell during roasting. No? And then we blow it off the shells with a stream of air para ang maiwan na lang is the nib. No? Anong mangyari dun sa shell? Now we have several products na mga value-adding products doon sa shell or sa husk, no? Na pwede natin ibenta and then the nibs we don't want to go through further processing. Now, ito na yung we have the whole pag kinakamay, pero too much hand contact is hindi rin maganda. But ito yung ating cracked nibs. Okay? Now, we are going to grind this one into a liquor. No? Ito yung stage 1 ng ating grinding. No? Lahat mag-grind. Meron namang ibang mga melagers or conching na dinidiretso nila dyan sa stage na yan, hindi na nila ginagrind. So, para hindi naman masyadong overwork yung iyong machine, as it's better na mag-grind tayo. Kasi it is only in the Philippines na yung cocoa liquor, ito yung nasanayan natin ibenta na tableya, yung ginagawang sikwate. Kasi yung pag-prepare natin ng tableya at sikwate ay binoboil natin using the baterol. Yung ibang countries natin, kasi yung kanilang drinking chocolate is in a form of a cocoa powder. Sa atin kasi, butterfat intact, no? Mas mataas yung kanyang nutritional value na kukuha natin sa pag-inom ng sikwate, no? And so, we have different types of, grinding, no? Equipment. So, if you're going to check on the traditional tableya, madali lang. The cocoa liquor itself, pag tinatigas, is the tableya already, and we can sell it already. It's cacao solids. No? Now, ayan. Ano ba ang magandang packaging dito? It should be foil, okay? Careful ngayon sa mga pouches, mga standard pouches na merong mga windows, kasi pag may windows, that is plastic, no? Mas mataas talaga ang shelf pag naka-foil kasi napipreserve mo yung aroma. No, yung pag-open mo doon lang ma-release yung aroma pag nag-close ka again kasi yung mga yung mga type lock, no, na ma-reuse mo again yung kaniyang pouches ay nakakapag-preserve doon sa aroma at sa environment doon sa kinalalagyan ng finished product na hindi siya madaling mag-react doon sa temperature, sa environment kung saan mo siya na-store. Okay? So, the usual grinder na ating ginagamit is the grinder in the palengke that we pay para tayo makapag-grind, but we also have different cacao grinders available now in the market. Now, there's one way of preparing tableya nowadays na pwede mo siyang hindi na idaan doon sa pag-boil ng water, but pwede siyang parang ready to prepare, no? Ito yung nire-refine natin. Actually, this is the same process as we are going to prepare 100% bean to bar, no? Different lang yung form, no? Hindi lang bar, no? Ginagawa nating disc, ginagawa nating mga maliliit like paper lims para mas madali siyang mag-melt, no? Ito yung mga refined tableya. Ano ba ang difference dito sa paggawa sa atilang tableya na traditional? Okay, dadaan tayo dito sa refining stage. Ito yung gumagamit tayo ng mga concher or ang end na product. It is a refined, no? Mataas yung fluidity, hindi siya masyadong aggregated na pareho nung sticky na form na tableya na minomold natin. So, ito yung mga common na yun na nasa market, no? And I'm sure you have a lot of these products there in Davao, no? And then if we are going to prepare the bean to bar, ano ba ang kaibahan nito doon sa refined tableya? We just add sugar, okay? But still, dadaan tayo dito sa, depende na ito, it's optional, no? In other countries, they always, dadaan sila dito sa refining, no? They use refined rollers or ball millers to refine, and then they have mixing and then refine before they punch, no? Just to shorten the process, no? Para mas madali siyang liliit yung kanyang microns, no? Mas madali ang processing, no? Dito, balik tayo, if we are going to prepare the bean to bar, mag-add lang tayo ng sugar. Depende doon sa percentage na kiniklaim natin sa ating finished product. Now, one of the most important process here na ating dadaanan is yung refining naman, ilagay mo lang doon sa refiner. Pag nag-conch ka is i-refine mo lang siya further into several hours, depende dun sa target mo na microns, no? Usually 17, 20, yung mga tinatawag na minimal chocolates, mas may grit, no? Yung pagkain mo. So, depende talaga kung ano yung market mo. But, ang pinaka-ultimate, no, ideal is 17 microns. So, dumadaan tayo dito sa process ng tempering, no? Now, depende na ito kung ano yung gusto mong product, no? Is it food-containing chocolates, yung pang-enrobe, no? Or solid-eating chocolates, okay? Ano ba itong solid-eating chocolates? Ito yung different term na ginagamit sa bean to bar. By the way, how are you going to eat chocolates, okay? Do not just simply eat it, but you need to move it slowly to your mouth and then you smell it para mas ma-enjoy mo yung aroma kasi there's a certain aroma na pinagtyagaan nating i-prepare, i-develop during fermentation and drying. Ito na ngayon yung pagsabor natin doon sa mga piniprepare natin ng mga, anong tawag dito, mga attributes sa chocolates. And let it melt. Put it in your mouth and let it melt and don't chew. Okay? That is why we have this target temperature na ma-feel pa natin yung pag-melt ng chocolate, solid na mag-enter sa ating mouth and then slowly it will melt para ma-feel natin yung optimum sensorial, anong tawag nito, satisfaction, no? Yung it melts in your mouth slowly at doon na-re-release yung mga na-mention natin kaninang mga different flavors. Okay? Now, always remember, melt, don't munch. Okay? Okay, what we are going to prepare now is a real chocolate. Bean to bar is a real chocolate. What is then a real chocolate? So, it distinguishes itself by its great taste and unique flavor and the melting behavior because it uses real cocoa butter fat. There are no substitution. It doesn't contain any vegetable fat. That is why it gives a smoother mouth feel and has a higher overall higher quality. Now, this is a simple process of making bean to bar. No? So just like the preparation of sikwate, it will pass through almost the same in the first 3 steps. But we have additional step here, and this is refining, conching, tempering, and molding. Now, one of these steps, the tempering, is what we need to understand also. Just like in post-harvest, fermentation is the very crucial stage, and in here is the tempering stage. So, before tempering, there are other ways of preparing the chocolate bar that we need to pass through a refining stage. But in the Philippine setting, we continuously directly do it via conching, no? So wala hindi ta moagian ni ng mga refining stage. Although if we are going to pass through this refining stage, mas makat short ang processing time, no? Dako ang menos sa processing time. So there are two different kinds of cacao refiners, no? We have the two-roller refiner and the ball miller. So, and this is how the roll refiner looks like. So naay duha ka mga refiner rollers nga mo pass through doon ang chocolates, no, para mas madali siya o transform into smaller particles. Now, in the Philippine setting, we have this kind of conching equipment wherein there are two stone, no, rollers na mag-continue to roll para mo pino ang particles sa ato ang chocolates. Although it takes time, like 15 hours, 17 hours, some it takes days, no, na mahuman nila depende sa target nila na kagamyon sa particles na ilahang i-prepare. If they're going to meet the ideal size of microns, which is 17, so mas madugay sila refine, no? So what happened during punching is there is a decrease in moisture content and there's a flavor development and mo increase ang free fat content because of the constant shearing. So there is heating. So kung mo heat mo melt ang natural cocoa butter fat and then mo improve ang flow behavior. Okay. So the next step that very important, as I've said kanina, is the tempering, no? So this is a critical process to carry out in the chocolate to obtain an uniform shine and crisp bite, no? So it needs expertise, especially if we do it manually, but there are also machines, no? So the most common killing process na manual tempering is what we call the tabling, although we have the seeding and then we have the silk, no? But if we can afford to buy a automatic tempering machine, so mas less ang ato ang hago, no? And then mas uniform ang ato ang results sa ato ang tempered chocolates, no? Why is it necessary? So it is necessary to temper in order to have that good shine, no? Texture and the snap and contraction. Tempering chocolate, it means we need to crystallize the cocoa butter in the chocolate by cooling hot chocolate following a clearly defined temperature path. So there's a heating and cooling, and then there is what we call as the pouring temp, no? So we have different target temperatures. If we are going to prepare dark chocolate, we have a 32 degrees pouring temp, 30 degrees for milk, and 28 degrees for white. So what's the difference between tempered and non-tempered chocolate? If it is not tempered, it has a dusty look, no, unappetizing appearance, and it sticks to the mold. It's difficult to detach it to the mold during molding, and it crumbles when broken. Although there are some chocolates that is not well tempered that look shiny at the beginning, but it eventually in the following days it will crumble. But if it is a tempered chocolate, it is glossy in appearance. It is very good to look at, and then it has a uniform sheen. Pareho siya o kasinawon. And then appetizing, of course, in appearance. Isa yan sa target natin para mabili yung ating produkto. And we all often offer it as a gift, so it should look good. And then the consistency is firm, and then it snaps when broken. You know, when a chocolate is well prepared, tempered well, mag-snap siya. There's that snap sound when you are going to cut the bar, and mas longer ang shelf life, and it has a crispy bite. Okay, so this is the melting pathway in tempering, no? So in here, we need to reach this maximum, no, 50 degrees melting of all the fat crystals present, and then we remove the sensible heat by lowering the temperature down, and then we have the formation of stable and unstable crystals at 28 degrees, and we need to heat it up again to the pouring temp in order to melt the unstable crystals, and only the stable crystals will remain, and then that's the time that the chocolate is now ready for molding. Now, if you try to look at it under the microscope, so the chocolate that is not well tempered will create fat bloom, no? There's also another bloom that is caused by the sugar, no? So in here we focus on the fat bloom. So if your chocolate is looks very shiny, so when we look at it under the microscope, it looks like this. But if it is not tempered under a fat bloom, yung mga puti-puti na minsan you mapagkamalan mong mga mold, no? It's a fat bloom. So ito yung nangyayari doon na scattered na mga cocoa butter fat, no? Okay. So we can clearly see that example, this is an tempered chocolate. So may mga creation ng bloom, no? And then when we're going to look at it in the microscope, so ito yung mga parang flower structures, no? At hindi lang yan, if there is sugar added, so these are other sugar crystals na nagbo-bloom din, no? So this will happen to your chocolate. It will look like this, no? Eventually, in the following days, pag hindi maklaro ang tempering stage, no? May mga ganitong mga white speck siya sa ibabaw. Ito yung tawag natin ng bloom, no? Because the structure, if we're going to clearly look at it inside the microscope, ito yung mga watak-watak, no, na cocoa butter, may mga cocoa particle, mga ganyan. So, hindi siya compact. So, what we need to do here is to make it compact to the tempering stage para pag compact siya, ito yung kanyang physical appearance na lalabas. No? If I'm going to give you the illustrated tempering method, what happens? So, ito yung example, no? Very clear example na pwede kong ma-explain sa inyo. So, yung mga melted na chocolate, yung na-melt natin ng not more than 50 degrees. We start with 36, yan, ma-melt natin. Ito yung mga formless chocolates, no? Wala siya kahit anong forma nandyan, okay? Now, if we are going to lower down the temperature at 17.3, no? Ito yung mga beta crystals nating 1 to 5. Ito yung mga type 1 na mga na-form, no? Na mga crystals, okay? How it happened? It's this. Now, we temper it, no? At the first step in tempering is to heat the chocolate over 37 degrees but not more than 50 degrees. Para ma-destroy natin ang mga crystal structure, i-melt natin siya. So, it looks like soft, dull, untempered chocolate. Itong simula. Ang ating target is gagawin natin itong hard, shiny, tempered chocolate. Now, in here, when the chocolate is over 37.8 or actually 36.3 specific, this is the melting point of the type 6, beta crystal 6 ng cocoa butter. The cocoa butter is without form, no? Wasak na. When we cool it initially during the tempering process, we lower it down. All the 5 types of cocoa butter form randomly. Etong nangyayari. As the temperature drops, so if this were to solidify, we would have untempered chocolates. Ito yung nangyaring mga structures underneath doon sa chocolate mo pag hindi mo na-temper ng klaro. Okay? At this point, pwede mo siyang i-mold, mahirap siyang i-detach, but then, ayun nga, may mga specks, no? So, the soft, dull, untempered chocolate will turn into like this. So, anong nangyari dito? At 63.1 Fahrenheit type, yung cocoa butter mag-melt, no? So, from here, yung 23.3 centigrade na type 2, pag nag-melt siya, ay magiging yellow. So, etong si triangle ay magiging eto na siya, mga rods na yellow. Okay? As we go down further to 25.5 degrees, higher, 25.5 degrees, so etong mga squares na naman ang magte-turn into green na rods. Okay? So, ayan na, nag-unti-unti na silang nag-a-align, no? And then, at 27.3 na heating, ito yung type 4, nagme-melt na siya. So, we now have yung seeding, no? Yung seeded chocolate, okay? Now, ito, you must be very careful because if we are going to add more heat here, no? Na maglagpas siya sa 31, babalik tayo doon sa beta 5 na crystal. Na pag nag-melt tayo, babalik tayo doon, pag nagbalik tayo doon sa top 5, type 5 na beta crystal, ay magbabalik tayo doon back at the beginning. Pwede naman tayo mag-retemper ulit, walang problema, but it takes time, no? So, and then, babalik naman siya doon sa formless na chocolate. So, in here, yung seeded na chocolate ay formless chocolate na may type 5, no, na purple hexagon crystals in it. So, whether we make it as above or seed some formless chocolate with type 5 crystals by adding some tempered chocolate to it at the proper 32 degrees, yan yung pinaka-safe, the chocolate doesn't know the difference. That is why, pag seeding method ang ginagamit natin, ito yung target natin na temperature. Okay? Now, what happened here, at this point, we are now going to mold the chocolate. So as it cools, no, the cocoa butter begins to follow the pattern of the beta 5. Okay? The type 5 seed crystals na yung nag-unmelt na-unmelt natin. So eto siya, mga dito, is unti-unti siyang mag-form compact, no? Hanggang mag-form siya ng ganito na para tayong nag-create ng jigsaw, no? So this crystal formation continues causing the chocolate to thicken. Now, ito na yung na after natin nag-mold, no? And set up as more and more of the melted formless cocoa butter forms around the beta 5 crystals. Now, eto, as long as the chocolate does not reach the melting point of the beta 5 crystals, ano yun, 33.8, kaya nga yung pouring temp natin is 32, it will continue to harden and temper. So generally, we try to keep the tempering chocolate below 31 just to be safe. So yung 31 to 32, yun talaga ang pouring temp. Okay? So finally, pag nagkakumpul-kumpul na sila and it will solidify, crystallize, no? Ito na yung tinatawag nating tempered chocolate, no? So, pag ganito na ang nangyari while molding, easy na natin siya na ma-detach na. This cocoa butter fat na may dala doon sa pag-melt, doon sa different crystals, ay mag-create ng lattice, no? At yung nangyayari dito na compact siya, this is because of the homogeneous nucleation of the different crystal embryos, no, na magiging lattice para compact siya na ating i-mold. Okay? Yan ang nangyayari sa tempering. So, if hindi siya na-tempered, wasak yung kanyang beta crystals. Now, question, bakit hindi natin paaabutin ng beta 6? Kasi yung beta 6 more than 5 na temperature, more than sa beta 5 na temperature like 36. Bakit hindi natin? Bakit 32 lang? Okay. It is because yung 32, yan yung pwede natin kainin, no? Magka-harden na siya dyan. Nag-crystallize na yan siya. So, it is lower than the body temperature. So, we still can feel the melting effect of the chocolate inside our mouth. Whereas kung andun tayo mag-end sa beta 6, babalik na naman tayo dun sa wasak. Now, just in case, kung ma-crystallize siya ng 36, the same ang kanyang temperature sa ating body, no? So, hindi na natin yun ma-experience yung melting behavior inside our mouth kasi melted na siya, no? Madali na siyang pagpasok doon, wala na, diretso na siyang mag-melt. So, hindi na natin yun ma-experience yung melting na sensation inside the mouth. And these are the common molding issues, no? Na ma-experience, no? This is an example of a hilaw, no? When we are going to mold it at then detach natin na hindi pa siya thoroughly crystallized. And this is caused by release marks, no? May mga issues dito sa temperature ng molde. These are some issues pag may mga water, no? Because chocolate and water are not friends. So, ito yung may mga puti-puti dito. Pag may mga droplets of water na naiwan doon sa, for example, sa mold, hindi mo masyadong na-dry. Okay? Now, these are the attributes that we need to check, no? How good our chocolates are. So, in appearance, no? Meron tayong color, tsaka yung gloss, yung texture. We must hit that great mouthfeel, the grittiness, the melting behavior, and of course the flavor. And we have to check on the aroma. And we need to experience that good snap. And the texture, we need to experience also that hardness and the melting behavior inside our mouth. Now, in making chocolates, we need to have these bulking agents. Ano to? These are the other ingredients that we need to add in order to come up with a bean to bar. So number one, na bulking agent is the sugar. Okay? Now, there are different kinds of sugar. We have common sugar, bulk sweeteners, high potency sweeteners, but the most common one and the safest one is the white refined sugar. Okay? Ang brown sugar kasi may mga problems tayo dyan sa sugar bloom, no? Kasi mataas yung moist niya. And then, when it comes to mga sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, yung mga alcohol sugars, no? Ito yung mga common, no? Sorbitol, maltitol, and isomalt. Now, may issue lang dito sa other sweeteners like stevia kasi there's the common species that we have here sa stevia sa Philippines ay may aftertaste na very strong, which is not good, no? When we are going to add it up to chocolate bars. And there are other high potency sweeteners that you can check kung saan pwede nating i-add. Now, another bulking agent is the cocoa butter fat because there are some cases that we need to add additional cocoa butter fat in order to have a good fluidity, no, with our chocolate, no? So, yung cocoa butter fat ay nakukuha natin through pressing doon sa, it's either on the nib or on the cocoa liquor, no? So, etong ginagamit nating mga presser, no? Ito yung mga tabletop lang na mga presser. So, ang result is a cocoa butter, no? It's either deodorized or undeodorized. So, yung naiwan doon sa presser is the cocoa cake, no? So, etong cocoa cake na yun will undergo further process para magawa natin itong cocoa powder. So, eto na yun, yung ginagamit sa mga chocolates na tinatawag natin compound, no? So, they are going to substitute the cocoa butter fat with other vegetable fat, okay? So, we have different types of cocoa butter. The most common one is the pressed cocoa butter, yung pinakita ko kanina. And then, we have cocoa butter obtained through expeller. And then, we have the refined cocoa butter. Ito yung mga dumadaan sa neutralization para maganda ang kulay, hindi masyadong odorous, no? So, they are going to undergo different refining processes. So, meron din tayong mga cocoa butter alternatives. Ito yung mga ingredient natin na pwede nating masubstitute doon sa cocoa butter, but we don't allow it on a higher percentage. May iba lang na po pwede. So, ito yung may difference sila, different categories. So, mayroon tayong cocoa butter equivalent, may cocoa butter replacer, may cocoa butter substitute. Most of these are being added doon sa, if we are going to prepare crumbs or compound chocolates. Okay? So, ito yung kanyang mga descriptions, no? You can read it and review it because you're running out of time. So, other additional bulking agent is the milk, no, for chocolate. So, what is the suggested if you are a newbie chocolatier making milk chocolate? You start with skim milk. Kasi yung skim milk, wala na siyang butter fat. So, wala ka ng problema doon to mix and match the butter fat of the milk with that of the butter fat of cacao. Kasi may minsang mga ibang preparation ng milk na problema tayo when we add it up, no? And then they'll mix together with the cocoa butter fat of the cacao. Now, if we're going to look at the microstructure sa milk, ay eto yung mga nangyayari na dun sa inside sa ating ingredients, no? So, isa lang na importante na at I could advise you is to check on what kind of preparation or process nag-undergo yung binili mong milk, no? Nandun yan usually sa if you buy by sack, nandun yung process niya usually katabi ng manufactured by, no? Because it will create a lot of difference ang spray-dried milk powder versus the roller-dried milk powder. So, mayroon kasing iba-ibang texture na lalabas, no? Yung structure na lalabas doon sa milk chocolate mo. So, malaki talaga ang diferensya. And this is another topic that we need to discuss, no? So, ito'y pahapyaw lang para may idea kayo kung ano yung i-check ninyo. Because if you are going to look at it again under cryosense, so this is what happens, no? So, pag spray-dried milk powder, very compact at structure yung kaniyang mga vacuoles. So, meaning, high yield stress at viscosity. Another bulking agent that we need to add to chocolate in the preparation of chocolate bar Actually, this is optional, but the most common one is an emulsifier. The most common one is lecithin. Okay, what is the role of emulsifier? So, an emulsifier is added to chocolate to help bind the cocoa solids, the sugar, and the milk, so they stick to the cocoa butter. No, and by sticking to the cocoa butter, this improves the viscosity, or other term is the fluidity, the flowability of the chocolate when it is melted. So it would be easy for us to form it into figures or into bar. Okay. Another one is the PGPR 476, but mostly ang gumagamit ng nito are those industries that prepares compound chocolates because they add it up to lecithin in order to have a very good result in reducing the viscosity of the chocolate preparation. Okay. So another one is the vanilla, but this is not the same with the vanilla essence that we often see in the supermarket, but we need the real vanilla. This is the black powder form that we add minute amount to the chocolate para mas may makuha tayong additional essence, no? So all these ingredients, it will help us make a very good or a very delicious chocolate bar, okay? Now, if we consider all those important steps and we prepared it well according to the standards, and we can attain this very good sensorial properties, and then we can identify according to the flavor wheel. Okay, so uh, I could say that scientifically speaking, chocolate really is the world's perfect food. We have here the differences. So if you have time, you can browse through these references so that you can review and you can understand more, because there are some areas that we need to discuss further and we ran out of time. So that's it for this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ma'am Vina. And that ends the discussion proper, presented to us once again by Ma'am Vina Antopina. And so can we hear a virtual round of applause for our very knowledgeable guest speaker? Okay, or pa-heart naman tayo dyan. Okay, so for those who are asking for a copy of the presentation, please make sure that you accomplish our evaluation form later. We will be sending a copy of for those who will answer or accomplish our CSF form. The link will be posted later before we end our webinar. So thank you. So now we move on to our question and answer portion. To our Zoom attendees, kindly type your questions in the chat box so that we may ask them straight to our guest speaker. While for our Facebook viewers, may we request you to key in your inquiries in our Facebook chat box so that our reliable co-facilitators will be able to forward them to us. So, Ma'am Vina, may we request Ma'am Vina to...
Hello. Hi. Good
Yes.
afternoon.
Thank you very
Hi.
much, ma'am, for that for sharing your information with us. And now we move on to our first question. So, Ma'am Vin, somebody from Pampanga, si Ma'am Maria Micaela Garcia, asked, although you answered this already sa ating Zoom chat box, no? But for the benefit of those watching us in Facebook, ask ko na lang din po ulit, ma'am. So, Ma'am Micaela asked, may difference po ba sa flavor pag nag-roast with or without shell?
Yeah, yun lang sagot ko. Mahirap po kasi itanggal ang husk pag hindi natin na-roast. And then prone din na ma-burn yung meat when roasting na wala ng husk. So, it will result to a burnt flavor which is not good.
Yes, so thank you very much for that, Ma'am Vina, and I hope we've answered the question of Ma'am Maria Micaela. And now, we move on to another Zoom participant po, si Dr. Sheba Duque. Good afternoon, Ma'am Vina. May I ask if meron pong use for food application yung waste or husk after the winnowing process? And thank you.
Yes, that is why we advise to use a automatic cracker winnower para mas hygienic. And then, yung kanyang klase ng husk is uniform yung kanyang size. Now, what we're going to do with that, we can make cocoa tea out of husk because there is still that, may theobromine pa yan siya eh. So, may sustansya pa tayong makukuha. And then if you are going to use that kind of winnowing machine na hindi yung husk ang end product niya but it looks like a cocoa husk powder form siya. You can add it up with coffee and they call it chofi. There's a high-end coffee shop in Taiwan and in Hong Kong who is offering that one. Chofi. So para siyang, kasi may lasa siya. So it's like mocha. Ang labas, it's a black mocha. Aside from that, for non-food application, pwede mo yan siyang gawing exfoliation beads. No? Lagay mo yan siya sa lotion, yung mga body wash. Kasi ngayon, bawal na yung mga artificial exfoliation beads. So, gawin mo yung panghilod. Instead of throwing it away, pag sobra-sobra na kasi, sobra naman yung ano mo lang, gawin mong mulch or fertilizer. So, kung pwede pang pagkakitaan mo. Hindi na mahirap ngayon bumili ng tea bags. Hindi ka na magpapahi ng tea bags. May mga marami ng tea bags. Open ka lang sa entrypouch.com. Nandun yan sa Facebook. Andun lahat. Yung mga gagamitin mo yung mga packaging materials, nandun na. Gawa ka na lang ng label.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ma'am Vina. So nothing goes to waste in cocoa processing, no? So now we move on to another Facebook Live question, Ma'am Vin, from Miss Nanette Suero Revilla. What is the shelf life of refined tablet daw po?
With appropriate packaging, aabot yan siya ng 1 year and 6 months based on experience. Yung storage mo lang, if it is yung traditional way, yung hand mold natin, pag maraming hand contact, of course, mababa yung kanyang shelf life. May posibilidad talagang may mataas yun na microbial content. However, kung dinadaan natin doon sa mold, yung mga quick mold, yung lesser yung hand content, yung hindi natin minomolde sa kamay, or yung refined, na wala talagang hand contact kasi from dadaan tayo dun sa tempering like that and then mold. So, yun ay aabot ng 1 year and 6 months. Hindi kasi tayo pwedeng sabihin na based on shelf life study kasi pag iba-iba yung packaging material, iba-iba din ang result. But what I did, it was individually packed inside a foil as a primary packaging, tapos nilagay sa box as a secondary packaging. Considering na yung kanyang storage are air-conditioned. Okay? Kasi mahirap dito sa ating tropical countries. So yung mga nagbabalak na magbenta ng tsokolate, isegue ko na. At saka yung mga magbibenta ng mga ganitong klaseng tableya na refined, ay i-adapt mo sa inyong puhunan o yung costing ninyo, yung storage ng finished product. Yun ang parating nalilimutan. Okay? I-require natin yan sa buyer. Yung reseller, meron ka bang ganyan? Kasi iba yung naka-air condition lang yung reselling area, and then nighttime mainit yung mga gift shop, yung mga supermarkets, yun. May mga changes yun sa product nangyari. Very maselan sa temperature ang chocolates.
Indeed. So many things, so many factors to consider, no? Packaging, practice of GMP, equipments used. So, yun. So I hope that answered the question of Miss Nanette. And now we move on to another question from our Zoom participant by Joko de los Reyes. How do we test, Ma'am Vina, the chocolate after the conching if it is ready or ready for tempering na daw po?
Automatic na yan siya na after you conch, no? If you meet already the desired microns that gusto mong ipalabas doon sa chocolates mo, you proceed na to tempering. Kasi while you are doing the conching stage, nasa mga 50-55 yung yung temperature. No? So isabak mo na kasi pababa mo na siya. Pagbaba mo, bababa ka ng 28. Okay? Tapos babalik ka na naman doon sa 32. Yan na yung pouring temp if you're talking about dark chocolates.
I
Kasi may
see.
ano pa tayo dyan, i-transfer mo pa siya sa tempering machine kung may machine ka. Now, if you are going to do hand tempering, i-ano po siya, parang i-portion mo pa siya na enough doon na makaya mo na i-temper. Yung nag-aantay na hindi mo pa pwedeng ma-temper, lagay mo sa melter.
Okay, sige po. Thank you so much for that, Ma'am Vina. And now another Facebook Live participant, Miss or Mr. Fahad Pandita asked, what is the most important part daw po of chocolate processing?
Dalawa yan. If ikaw yung nagpe-prepare ng wet beans para maging fermented dried beans, fermented dried cacao beans, yung fermentation stage, yun talaga ang bandayan mo. Now, if you are, gumagamit ng, nabibili mo na beans, number one, if you're going to process it into bean to bar, please, gawa ka ng traceability. Saan ba galing yung beans mo? Paano pagka-ferment? Kaya, yung advice talaga, if you are going to produce bean to bar, kilalanin mo ang source ng beans mo. Kailangan more or less pare-pareho ang beans na ginagamit mo. Kasi kung hindi pare-pareho, let's say gumawa ka ng 65% or 72% dark chocolate. Every time na gagawa ka ng chocolate, iba-iba ang flavor. Mahirap naman yung kada labas mo ng chocolate bar, meron kang limited edition. Okay? So, kailangan uniform yung source mo. Or else, kung hindi ka makakuha ng uniform source, you must come up with a talent on how to blend. Para meron kang iyong signature blend. Para yun yung ma-offer mo. Kasi every time may offer mo yung chocolate, pag mga connoisseurs, yung alam yung taste ng chocolate, kasi kung chocolate hindi ka magkalayo sa wine, yung mga nagtitaste test ng wine, makikita at makikil mo kung ano. So sabihin mo, bakit yung dati ng 72 ganito? Okay? Mataas yung parang flowery, citrusy flavor niya. Bakit ito? This is smoky and this is coffee. No? Kaya magkaiba kasi yung kasing lasa ng cacao beans, isa doon is the terroir. Saan environment tumutubo yung cacao. Pangalawa, sino yung mga neighboring plants ng cacao? Kasi doon minsan mag-mimic yung flavor because of the pollinators. Okay? So, yan. Kilalanin mo. Now, if you are going to buy the ready beans already, yung tempering stage, yun yung dapat na i-master ninyo. Lalo na pag wala kayong machine o kahit na may machine, yan kasi mga troubleshooting, hindi yan nadadala sa machine by hand natin ang tina-troubleshoot. Ang kagandahan ng chocolate, pwede natin ma-rework. Pero, pag nagre-rework tayo ng nagre-rework, may additional cost yun. Okay? So, iba na ang iba na ang kwentahan, iba na lumiliit yung profit mo sa kaka-rework.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Ma'am Vina. So, again, it's fermentation, no? And the tempering stage ang ating dapat tutukan. So, another question from John Ruffy Dailisan. Ma'am Vina, ask ko lang po, what type of wood po ang dapat gamitin para sa fermentation box?
Isa lang ang requirement, non-tar. Yung wala siyang, anong Tagalog ng tagok? Non-tar sa English, wala yung duga, o hindi siya magtagok, no? Kasi yung Bisaya, tagok, alam ko there are Tagalog speaking, dito, participants. Wala pong dagta. Yeah, okay. Yung walang dagta na klase ng kahoy. Marami yun sila. Hindi ko lang ma-remember yung mga pangalan, but my partner who is yung partner farmer ko na master siya dyan is yun talagang walang dagta. Bakit? Kasi yung amoy at saka yung yung flavor nandun dun sa dagta ay malamang mag-transfer doon sa beans during fermentation.
Okay, so yes, thank you very much, Ma'am Vina. So now, we move on to the question of Mr. Oscar Magbanwa Jr. Hello from USM. Hello, sir. What certain microorganisms can help po in cacao fermentation to make it faster daw po?
Marami sila, no? I would like to share with you via your email, Sir Oscar, kasi may isa akong file nito na gusto kong i-share sa iyo kasi nandun lahat yung mga identified na mga microorganisms. Meron tayong long cut and the short cut version. Okay? So, magdepende din ito, sir, sa gaano kalaki yung iyong fermentation box if you are using box. Nowadays kasi, marami tayong options eh. Mayroong mga plastic containers, may mga so, iba-iba kasi ang reaction ng tawag nito, microbes. Okay? If you'd like to, sir, kung saan ka man, nasa Facebook or nasa Zoom, sulat lang po yung email address ni sir at ibigay ko sa iyo yung kumpleto kong file dito, sir. Para mas klaro po.
Sige po. Si Sir Oscar is joining us via Zoom po. So,
okay, sulat lang, Sir Oscar, yung email address po. Okay. Yes, ma'am?
Yes. So another question, Ma'am Dean, is from another Zoom participant, Miss Amy Gabriel. Ma'am, may we ask any alternative way of drying beans daw po aside from sun drying, because during rainy season, ayun, to attain the required moisture and avoid molds?
Okay. Meron tayong mga mechanical dryers. Okay? Depende yun kung gaano kalaki at kung ano yung fuel na imuhang ganitong sugnod. Yan sa Tagalog. O anong heating, no, na tawag dito, material na gagamitin. Careful lang tayo for food safety issues yung mga nangangamoy gas, if you're using gas. Meron kasi din tayong kagaya ng pag-dry ng kopra, pwede din. Pero careful lang din tayo sa backfire ng smoke para hindi po naging tapa yung parang tinapa yung lasa ng iyong cacao beans. Yun lang po. Marami po tayo ngayong mga design. Meron yata yung Filmet. If you can open Facebook page of Filmet, may marami silang design ngayon na alternative na tawag nito drying equipment aside from direct drying. Kasi problema yan sa mga matataas na lugar na parati yung ulan.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ma'am Vina. Again, PhilMeg is an affiliate of the Department of Agriculture. So you may want to check po ang kanilang website for the information na sinabi po ni Ma'am Vina. So another question, Ma'am Dean, is from another Zoom participant from Clenmay Gulyayan. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Kailangan ba ipatest sa aflatoxin ang tableya, ma'am?
I guess this is one requirement of FDA, a regulatory office. Pero kung wala namang reason why makakakuha tayo ng aflatoxin, pwede namang wala. Mas importante pa siguro yung mga lead at mercury if yung area na tinubuan mo ng cacao ay malapit sa volcanic area, yung mga cadmium, yung mga ganun. Okay? But I'm sure aflatoxin is one requirement ng FDA. So, kung requirement ng FDA, patay na tayo dyan. Wala tayong magawa, ipatest mo.
Yes. So if it's a requirement already by FDA, we have no choice but to comply. So, and another question from Miss Anna G. Hinova or Genova from Zoom participant po natin. Hello po, Ma'am Vina. Ask ko po sana during fermentation, ano po ba ang best container ang magandang gamiting maiwasan ng acid reaction?
Hindi ko talaga ma-identify kung best ba yun, no? But as per experience, ako, dalawa ang ginagamit. Wooden, tsaka yung, alam mo yung chest box. Ilagay na lang natin sa brand ng mga Coleman tsaka Orocan. Yung ginagamit natin sa picnic, yung insulated box. Kasi one bean that I am using is Criollo. Maliliit yung kanyang beans, no? Yung in-experiment ko ngayon na beans na ginagawang chocolate is purely Criollo. May ibang akong mga Trinitario leading towards Criollo. So, hindi sila na yung mga malalaking beans. Why I need to use that chest cooler? Because I am using the extracts, yung nagpapasweat tayo, yung kanyang cacao juice. Because there's money in cacao juice. Because you can prepare an array of products out of cacao juice. It will end up to wine, it will end up to soft drinks. Mahilig ako sa mga research and development. So, yun ang aking talagang na-test. Ang tendency lang is you create para ba mas suffocate mo yung first 2 days niya para mag-create yung heat, mag-hasten yung fermentation. Mabilis yung pag-react ng yeast, no? Para mag-convert siya. Para yung kanang na-explain ko kanina na mag-heat up, no? Kasi kung hayaan mo lang na ilagay siya doon, lalo na kung maliit yung iyong kumbon, hindi siya aabot dun sa 45 to 50 degrees. Pag hindi siya aabot doon, walang fermentation na mangyayari. Hilaw. Okay? Now, if you are going to make boxes, ngayon kasi ang DA may binibigay sila ng mga plastic, no? So what will you do? I-coveran mo ng secondary na, marami kang banana leaves, no? Itikan mo yung banana leaves, lagyan mo lang ng, ang tawag dito, mga butas-butas sa lalim para doon mag-drip yung first day na, na sweating. Okay? Tapos, mo talaga siya, ihuot yun ng kulog, yan na walang, air na lalabas para mas madali yung pag-react ng heat, no? So, first 2 days. And then, third day, mag-introduce na tayo introduce na tayo ng air. Okay? So, yan. Ang advice ko lang, kung ano yung meron kayo ngayon, kasi minsan mahirap kasi, gagamit tayo ng malalaking box. Kung co-op kayo, or kung ikaw, babae, mahirap yung i-turn. No? Practical lang na reason. So, practicean nyo kung anong meron doon. You see, I even tried fermenting 10 kilos, no? Anong ginawa? Yung mga old na, tuwalya, yun ang pinangbalot namin sa loob para lang mag-increase yung heat. Okay? So may mga iba't ibang tayo dyan, techniques na gagawin. So R&D is very essential. Tapos document mo lahat. Kasi pag hindi yan documented, it's not written, it doesn't exist. Right? Anong claim mo? Wala kang ma-claim. Okay?
Indeed. So, thank you so much, Ma'am Vina. And speaking of fermentation, Ma'am Vin, na ay pangutan na diri from Adele in Tamona, another Zoom participant. Ilang days po ba ang pinaka-ideal for fermentation?
As per experience, 6 days. First 2 days, walang air. Third day, you start aerating. Tapos turn mo siya once a day. At least on the same time. Okay? Sure mo lang na pag-turn mo yung turn talaga. Hindi yung turn ay ibabaw lang, gilid lang. Para naman, even yung distribution. Okay? Tapos, bean cut test ka ng bean cut test. Pag nakita mo na yung fissures na medyo, na siya, evident na siya. Tapos, nag-change na yung kulay, yung mga target na pinakulay. That's the time, 6 on the 7th day, i-dry mo na.
Okay, sige po. So 6 days it is for the based from experience ni Ma'am Vina, no, ideal for fermentation. And now another Facebook participant, ma'am, asks si Mr. or Miss June Maseren, ilang degrees po minimums na init sa tableya bago matunaw?
I would like to further ask, anong klaseng tableya po? Yun pong traditional o yung nag-undergo ng conching? Kung traditional, hindi mo talaga yan pwede doon sa mababang degrees. Kailangan talaga natin yung ibaterol. Alam mo, may advantage yan sa ating sikwate. Kasi tayo lang yan. Ano yan siya? Unique yan siya sa buong mundo. Kaya hindi mo mag-gets kasi lahat ng umiinom ng chocolate drink outside the Philippines is in a form of a chocolate powder. Yung para Milo, yung para Ovaltine, yung mga ganon. Sa atin lang yung puro. Nandun pa lahat yung nutrients kung maganda lang yung pagka-ferment. Nandun pa. Kaso lang, kailangan natin siyang i-whisk. Kasi hindi siya tempered. Napakataas ng kanyang microns. 50 yata yun. Kaya nga mayroong mga grit, mayroong mga sandy elements na ma-feel natin at the end. Minsan nga, ma-choke pa tayo sa kalaktinong. Depende kasi yun sa gilingan, yung kanyang ngipin. So, kung ilang beses na pass through doon sa gilingan at medyo manipis na siya, yun madali na siyang mag-melt kasi madali na siyang mag-decompose. But inside a boiling water. Why we need to whisk it, the butterol, just like the way the Spaniards do it, para lalabas yung froth, yung kanyang cocoa butter fat, para yung pag-inang natin, parang may ganun dito, na parang milk, ganyan. So, yun siya. The more, the higher the butter fat, mas malaki yung protein nutrient na nakukuha doon sa tableya. But do not put too much sugar. Kasi doon tayo nagpapa-high blood. At huwag yung itari sa tuyo. Kasi yung tuyo, yun din ang nakapa-high blood. Hindi yung sikwate. Okay? So, kung ang ginamit yung tableya ay yung mga refined, yung dumadaan sa conching, dumadaan sa tempering, para siyang 100% na chocolate bar, but not in a bar form, but sometimes praline, yung mga bilog-bilog, mga ganyan. Actually, bagong boiled na water, ilagay mo siya, mix mo lang siya ng mix. mag-melt na siya. But you cannot get the froth the same as yung nabaterol. Okay? Pag nabaterol, mas masarap.
Okay, so very fortunate na dire sa Philippines, no, na kita lang ang naay sikwate. So, thank you so much, Ma'am Vina. And another question from another Zoom participant, Ma'am Vin. So, si Mr. or Miss Joy Mar Bumbok, try daw po making tableya. Nag-melt naman daw po siya, ma'am. Pero kinalaunan daw po, after he left or she left it in the mug for 5 minutes, nagsisink na daw po yung chocolate. Parang di daw po siya soluble sa water. Ano po kaya daw ang mali doon?
Walang mali doon, ma'am. Yun talaga ang natural. Kasi yung ginawa natin tableya, hand-mold. Unang giling lang siya. Unang giling. Tapos, minolde na natin. Now, kailangan natin siya napakuluan para mag-melt talaga siya thoroughly kasi malaki yung kanyang grain. Hindi siya kaya dun sa mga instant. Tableya talaga na traditional and handmade is never instant. So, yun talagang proseso niya. Kaya nga, i-encourage all of you na pag nagtatableya kayo, lagyan mo ng how to prepare. Instruction ng how to prepare. Kung marunong kayo mag-drawing, pwedeng lagyan nyo yung parang mga hapon ba lahat naka-drawing. Ganun. Kasi, pag hindi mo yan nilagyan ng how to prepare instruction, ang tendency, tayo lang sa Visayas, Mindanao, mahilig dyan sa sikwate. Luzon area, iba yung klase nila dyan sa mga pag-prepare. So, that is why we need to lagay doon sa label, no, sa information label, information panel pala. Tapos bakit nagsisink? Kasi nga malaki yung kanyang microns, no? Sandy, no? Kaya nga siya pag natayo pa lang, pagbalik mo, marami na siyang aggregates doon sa baba, no? Para mga sediments niya doon na nandun na. So what you're gonna do, pwede mo naman siyang i-reboil. Okay? Pwede naman makit niyan sa ref, tapos i-heat mo na naman ulit.
Okay.
May isang technique, ma'am. Okay, yes, additional, para hindi ko malimutan. Para mas ma-lessen yung grit, okay, do not use sugar, you use honey. Kasi yung honey, parang may coagulant effect siya. Yung lahat ng mga grain, pinatapok mo yung lahat. So, meron pang grain siguro ma-cut into half. So, hindi ka na maubog pag inom mo ng tableya.
Wow. So thank you so much for that piece of information, Ma'am Vin. And lastly, finally, ma'am, from our Zoom participant, very fitting as last question or comment, ma'am. Any advice daw po for entrepreneurs who want to enter the cacao industry or cocoa processing, ma'am?
You start learning now and never stop learning. Continue learning. Kung may libre, thank you, Lord. Kung may bayad, i-add up mo yan sa investment mo. You see, I've been into this kind of, pag-chocolate ko, 2007. Up until now, I am still learning every day. I never stop learning. Kasi yung tableya kasi, para yung siyang passion. Tableya naman chocolate. But ibang trend. Now, hindi ka magsabay sa trend, maiwan ka. Ang klase pa ng Pinoy buyers, madaling maumay. Madaling magsawa. So you have to think of other ways. Ang kagandahan ng tableya, yung term is masarap siyang paglaruan. Marami kang ideas. Anong kagandahan ngayon pag kayo papasok? Yung lahat ng mga references dati na binibili mong libro nandun sa Pinterest. Instead na mag-tanaw-tanaw ka dyan sa Facebook. Punta ka doon, marami doon, lahat. Parang magasin na binili mo, libre. So, tingin ka lang. Now, if yung talent mo ay hindi talaga medyo swak, but the interest is there, you hire people, but not just ordinary people. You hire talented people. Kasi kung sa Bisaya pa, itong paggagawa ng tsokolate, pangamot, ay talent talaga. Hindi pwede yung kakanta lang tayo, ang talent ay 50, yung ating guts ay 150, ay okay na. Hindi talaga pwede yun. No, hindi lalabas na masarap. Kaya yung learning niyo ngayon, kung meron na kayong nakita diyang farm, okay, intindihin mo, ano yun. Tapos yung processing. Marami ngayong mga ino-offer na, like sa BOST for example, maraming mga ino-offer na mga webinars. Okay, libre naman yun. So, marami na rin ngayong mga tawag nitong online chocolate academies. That time yung sa akin, wala. We have to hire people, anong tawag doon? Parang under the table na. Okay, there's a chocolate chef, pastry chef yan, bayaran natin, ganun. Walang academy. Ngayon, marami. You go, Ecole Chocolat. May mga ganun. Medyo mahal, but compact. Ang kagandahan, ma-review mo ng ma-review kasi ibigay sa iyo yung lahat ng modules. Okay? Pwede ka naman natuto like me is a deconstructive way. Nauna ako sa applications, nauna ako sa mga artistic something na mga ganyan. Tapos last ko nang inintindi yung science. At least naabutan ko pang naintindihan ng science para mabuo ko yung pagkakaintindi. Kasi kung hindi mo naman i-touch yung pag-study mo doon sa bakit naging ganyan at bakit naging ganito. Ang ginagawa mo lang is just to plainly troubleshoot pag may problema na hindi mo naintindihan kung bakit nag-appear yung problema. Okay? Kasi marami naman tayong mga proactive na mga measures na pwedeng gawin para maiwasan natin yung mga tinatawag na mga mali. Okay? Ang kagandahan sa chocolate ng isa is pag na mali, pwedeng ma-rework. So, don't stop learning. Continue. Now, if you have ideas in mind, there's nothing wrong. Walang mali na idea. Always remember, if it is being imagined, it can be done. Okay?
Amen to that, Ma'am Vin. So, again, invest in knowledge, no? Cultivate the passion for learning and hire the right people. Okay, so thank you very much, Ma'am Vina. And that's it. That concludes our Q&A. Thank you so much to those who sent their questions, but unfortunately, we do not have much time. So with this, may we request our participants who may still have questions to email us at info@region11.dost.gov.ph, and we will try our best to respond accordingly. And now, to award the Certificate of Appreciation to our dear resource speaker, allow me to read the citation. So the Department of Science and Technology Region 11 awards this Certificate of Appreciation to Ms. Vina R. Antopina in recognition of her invaluable contributions in promoting science, technology, and innovation as tool for the inclusive growth in Davao region, given this 3rd day of November 2021 during the 2021 Regional Science and Technology Week celebration via online platform. Signed, our Regional Director of the OST 11, Dr. Anthony C. Sales, CESO 3. Okay, round of applause, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ma'am Vina.
Thank you.
We are ever so delighted that you are always willing to share your knowledge and time with us. We are honored by your presence, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. And with that, for our webinar participants, kindly check our Zoom or Facebook chat box for the link to the customer satisfaction feedback form. Accomplish the CSF form and our registration form for a chance to win exciting prizes. And again, only those who have accomplished both the attendance or the registration form and the CSF form will be given a copy of the presentation shared to us by Ma'am Vina. So at this point, may we request our Zoom participants for a quick photo opportunity. So kindly turn on your video and show us that sweet smile. So while for those who are wearing face masks, you can smize, diba? Ala Tyra Banks. Okay. So let's take this opportunity, no, that we still have Ma'am Vina with us for this photo opportunity. So our ICT team will be doing screenshots. So I believe we have 4 frames. Keep smiling, guys. Okay, smile. Okay, so it's already complete. Thank you very much, Zoom participants, and to our Facebook viewers also. And now it's time for raffle. Yay! One of the most excited na ba kayo? Pa-heart naman tayo dyan. Okay, pagawas na ang ruleta. So once again, may I remind our attendees to accomplish our registration and CSF forms to be eligible to claim our prizes later on. Okay, so to win a limited edition RSTW Bamboo Notebook, we have as our lucky winner. Okay, so everyone who registered, no, not only sa Zoom, but also our Facebook viewers, tanan-tanan na adi-ari. Naapod ko diri, unta makadaog. Okay, so the winner of our bamboo notebook is CJ Escareses. Congratulations. And now the RSTW bamboo tumbler will be for... Dun, 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 dun. Got a drum roll, no? Drum roll, please. My tumbler cutie. Okay, so we have Kate and Tersenio. So congratulations, Ma'am Tersenio. And for our 10,000 mAh power bank, the winner is... Okay. Okay, so we have Irvin Basanyes. Congratulations. But wait, there's more. So 3 webinar participants will win 100 pesos GCash each. Their names will be drawn from those who successfully accomplished our CSF form. So again, registration and CSF form po. So this is a wrap for our webinar for today, all about the science of chocolates. So be sure to watch our interesting webinars lined up tomorrow, November 4. At 10 a.m. is the Conservation Education Initiatives for the Philippine Eagle amidst the pandemic, to be given to us by Ms. Carla Salvacion of the Philippine Eagle Foundation. And at 2 p.m. is the Additive Manufacturing on Medical Applications, courtesy of Dr. Rentor Cafino of Zamboanga City Medical Center. Okay, so don't forget to participate or join us tomorrow. And again, accomplish our registration and CSF forms for a chance to be one of the 3 lucky winners of 100 pesos GCash each. The names of the winners and instructions on how to claim our prizes will be posted in the DOST11 official Facebook page. So click that like button for the latest updates in science, technology, and innovation in the Davao region. So this has been Jas Magallanes of the DOST11. Daghang salamat og amping sa kanunay. Salamat po. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ma'am Vina.
Hey! Kamusta? What's up mga kabrang? Excited na ba kayo sa 2021 NSTW?
Markahan nyo na ang inyong mga kalendaryo ngayong November 22 to 28, 2021.
Magkita-kits tayo sa 2021 NSTW. Handog ng DUST. 2021 NSTW and Science for the People.
Regional Science and Technology Week. RSTW is a regional celebration of the National Science and Technology Week. It is conducted and spearheaded by the Department of Science and Technology regional offices across the country. It also serves as a run-up to the national celebration. This year's celebration carries the theme Agham at Teknolohiya tugon sa hamon ng panahon. The NSTW highlights the significant contributions of science and technology to the national development and has become a platform for heralding S&T advocacy in the country. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this will be the second year in a row wherein most of the festivities will be held online. So you will continue to enjoy the many offerings of RSTW and NSTW right at the comfort of your home. So what's in store for the 2021 RSTW Davao? DOST Region 11 brings you the 2021 RSTW Davao official lineup of activities. November 3 online launching, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Science of Chocolate, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 4 Conservation Education Initiatives for the Philippine Eagle amid the pandemic, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Additive Manufacturing on Medical Applications, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 5 Science and Tech amid the pandemic, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Awarding of Best Setup and SES Implementers, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. November 8 to 9 GAD Awareness and the Use of Gender Fair Language Webinar. November 10 Youth Excellence in Science Awards, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. November 12 In Focus, Davos Research Agenda, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 16 to 18, 2021 Rise Davao Final Round. November 19, Digital Tayo, Digital Empowerment, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 22, Science from the Eagle's Nest, Episode 1, Halal S&T Program, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 24, Episode 2, Grind Program, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 25, Episode 3, Renewable Energy Resource Potential in the Philippines, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. November 26, Digital Tayo, Digital Engagement, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. These are open and free to all. Join and have a chance to win prizes. National Science and Technology Week, Agham at Teknolohiya tugon sa hamon ng panahon.